Recently I've been feeling tired all the time, so I downloaded one of those apps that's supposed to track your sleep schedule. The app automatically records audio if you snore or if you're turning over in your bed, that sort of thing. It's pretty smart. It has automatic detection of the kind of noise that you're making. I set it up and slept with it for a few nights. Yesterday, I looked through the files and begun listening to see if there was something I could change to get a better night's sleep. The first few recordings were exactly what you'd expect. A few sounds of me turning over in my bed, the occasional snore, and the occasional groan or mutter. It was only the last few nights that begun to be strange. There were a few recordings labelled sleep talking. Each recording had a small transcription button below the recording. Apparently the app ran the recordings through some kind of speech-to-text generator. I opened the transcript and found the following message: unable to transcribe sleep talking. I tapped the playback and listened closely. Instead of the normal grunts or single words I sometimes said, there was just a strange wet sucking sound. I put in earbuds and turned up the volume. It honestly reminded me of the sound a person would make when they take a deep breath through their nose while smelling fresh bread or cookies, but somehow wetter. It didn't sound like something I was capable of producing. The playback said that it had been taken at 2:33 a.m. The following 2 nights also had recordings with the same sleep talking titles. Each of them had also been taken at 2:33 a.m. I listened to both of them and heard the same wet slurping sound. At this point, I was more than a little freaked out. I live alone and I couldn't think of an even moderately likely explanation for what I recorded. I decided to stay up to get to the bottom of the noise. If my air vents or phone were making that noise at 2:33 a.m. each night, I wanted to be awake for it. I lay in bed watching YouTube videos until around 2:15 a.m., then set my phone down to wait the last little bit in the darkness. Laying in my bed in the pitch black was extremely unnerving. I had an overpowering sensation that something was watching me, though I told myself that I'd be feeling that regardless of what was actually happening. I stared at the ceiling and told myself that surely 2:33 had already passed. Surely I was laying in the dark around 2:40 and being ridiculous. Then my door opened. I froze. Something moved into my room. It made the same wet breathing sound I'd heard before. I immediately began coughing and rolled over in my bed, hoping whatever it was would leave. It moved backward out of my door. I lay there for a few moments, trying to convince myself that I'd made up whatever I'd heard. Then I turned to look at my bedroom door, the door I always kept shut while I sleep. It was hanging open. I swung my legs out, grabbed a baseball bat from under my bed in my right hand, and held out my phone's camera in my left. Then I turned on my bedroom light before beginning to walk through my house. I walked through the hallway to my kitchen, flipped on the light, and froze. A black figure sat, halfway obscured inside my laundry room. It had skin so black it was almost invisible, but its one white eye was staring at me. I took a picture with my phone as I scrambled back to my room. I slammed the door shut, called the police, and tried not to hyperventilate while I waited for them to arrive. They're searching my house right now, but they say they haven't found evidence of anything. I don't know where I'm going to sleep tonight, but it won't be here. I checked my phone and almost lost it when I saw the picture I took of this thing. If anything else happens, I'll update you all here.